Okay, let's talk about text formatting then. So, I'm sure that you've used in the past things like Microsoft Word or Google Docs, in which you have the option to have bold text and um, italic and emphasized and smaller and subscript and superscript and all these different things. And actually, what you're doing there is just assigning different kinds of HTML tags, because what you were writing in a Word document is an HTML file, basically, with or XHTML, but basically the same thing, with different elements to represent the different kinds of text. So we should go through a few of them. So let's still use these tags here, and let's say that we want the welcome one. I'm just gonna comment out the styling for div, except for red, or actually just except for bold. I like the Calibri. Okay, so this is just a normal text. Just ignore the color for now. So let's say we want that bold. So there's a specific element in HTML for bold, and that's just the B. And so you can have it bold like that. And this is just a much quicker way than having to write it as a div or a span and then having to make a class, because let's say we didn't have this class already made. So you'd have to write class and make a class and then make a CSS file or put it up here and put a dot and write the whole thing. Instead, here you can just add it as a B, and it works perfectly fine. And also the B tag is very clear, in the sense that if you want to write a little div with a phrase, but you want one word to be emphasized, so we put the bold. So let's say here, let's make a span, which is just another kind of element. So here is great website, and then we want welcome to be bold, and then we'll have some more text afterwards. Here's a great website. I hope you will like it. Okay, so you can see that the span goes from here and then is closed off here. And in the middle of the span we have a little bold thing where there's the welcome. So here you can see that you have a normal little phrase, and then the welcome is bold. It also has the classes. But let's say we put the class on the span. So then the whole class is going to be Calibri in blue, but that special word there is going to be bold. And there are quite a few of these different tags for the bold and different kinds of formatting. There's the strong text, which is basically bold but with a little bit of emphatic. It's difficult for a user to distinguish it from bold, but the makers of HTML say that it's slightly different. So we can try out strong. Let's see what that looks like. Strong. This is strong text. So to me it looks as if it's just normal bold, but it somehow does have a little bit of literary importance that maybe is missing in bold. That's what the HTML people say. So this one will have a little bit more of semantic importance than just normal bold text. But there's also another element called the emphasized. Emphasize, so this is emphasized text. And to me, again, this looks like normal italic, but they say that it's different from the italic, which is just I. This is italic. So, emphasized should have a little bit more semantic importance than normal italic. I frankly can't see much of a difference, but maybe if it's included in a page or in some kind of text, then you could see it a lot better. But to be honest, I can't really see it. Then there's also the mark text. So this is when you highlight something. So when you highlight something in Microsoft Word, that's basically what you're giving. You're making an element with the mark. Then there's also the small and big. So small text and big text, which are exactly what you think they are. So small is just a little bit smaller, so maybe if you want to write a date, so you could do span Friday the 13th, because you normally don't use subscript really for dates. It's just kind of a smaller text, so you can have the th a bit smaller. And then probably some quite very useful, two useful tags are the subscript and superscript. If you're writing mathematical formulas in a website, so subscript under. So you can see the under is just slightly underneath the line and over, slightly over. So if you're writing a formula, you have a span that says E equals MC. And then we have a superscript here. Close off the span always. So then you have the squared in the right position. So the subscript and superscript can be very, very interesting. I really can't see if the italic and emphasized text are that different, but since they say that it is, and maybe there is a little bit more emphasis in that, maybe it's best to trust them because they made it. And the same thing for strong and bold. Maybe there is a little bit more importance given off with this. So yeah, it's best to use that. And I think I would limit it to these elements when you are styling things with an HTML element. These are very useful, but the HTML has tons more of these elements that have styles already allocated to them, like these, that are really not that useful, and it's just better to style in CSS because you've got full control over it. So when it comes to using HTML elements only to construct your page, just I would say limit it to these. So yeah, that's the basic of formatting. So hope you understand a bit more of what goes into something like a Word document, and also what you would do in your own website. So yeah.